Hello, Beaverton parents. This is another parent outreach support video for you from the Behavioral Health and Wellness Department for the Beaverton School District. My name is Chris Damiano. I'm the social emotional TOSA for K through 12. And today's video, if you stay tuned with us, is all about how do we put control back into our children's hands so that they feel like showing up to learn. Oftentimes we find that their reluctance to show up is mostly because they perceive they have no control over things. So stay tuned for a slide deck and I'll walk you through some ways as parents that we can support our kids. So again, if you're showing up here, you're trying to look at, or you maybe have experienced something where you're asking your kiddo to do something and they're just kind of like, no way. And to dive a little deeper into this, when we talk to your kiddos, either as teachers or parents, and I notice even for myself, when I talk to my daughters, I sometimes start to hear things about like how they blame, or they say, well, it's all that person's fault, or there's nothing I can even do about it. And in a sense, what we're finding is that there are opportunities for us to help as parents increase our kiddos' chance of success by helping them see where they can be successful and where they can be in control. So today, what do you do, or we can ask, what do we have control over? And I have this diagram, and it is super convoluted. We're not going to take a long look at it, but I do want you to notice in the kind of bottomish left-hand corner, one of the 6 factors of motivation is locus of control. Now, we all love to be able to have some sense of control over things in our lives. There's external control and there's internal control. And just to understand, the internal control, locus of control, is you make things happen. And the external locus of control are that things are happening to me. So you can almost kind of see and play that out a little bit. Oh, woe is me, everything's happening to me, this is happening to me, versus I'm going to go out, I'm going to make this happen, and we're going to do it. And it depends on the situations in life, right? Sometimes as a skateboarder, I may be like, oh, I got this. And as a skateboarder, I might be like, you know what? If I only had better equipment today, I would be able to do this trick. So you can see how this plays out in our lives. So how do we support our child? Well, first of all, in every situation, there are things that you can control. They got to get to know this. They have to know that's, in a sense, a bucket in every situation. But also, there are things that they can't control. And in every situation, there are those 2 buckets that they have, and there's something that they have to know. One of these buckets is not empty. So it's our role to help our children see this. So they might look at a situation we'll go forward, and they might see that everything in that situation is just something they have no control over. Well, that bucket of what they control isn't empty. Something has to be in there. So we have to lead them to understanding. So how do we do that? Here's some examples. I got a C on my test, and it's my teacher's fault because he simply doesn't like me. Or, I hate going to that class because it's boring. These are things that we're saying, we're hearing as parents, you know what? They're not really feeling like they have any control in this situation. They feel like it's somebody else's fault, or it's something, some external control. So how do we help this? Well, that's not a productive way to look at control. So we have to look at the controllables. We don't know all of the details as parents, so we have to kind of help guide a kiddo. So as far as the example of I got a C on a test, perhaps we help our kiddo in a gentle way kind of learn that, well, what were your study habits? Tell me about what you did leading up to this test. Maybe they did do wonderful study habits, but perhaps they were studying the wrong thing or misunderstanding that. So we can lead them to, did you reach out to a peer? Because again, they don't like that teacher, or they perceive that teacher doesn't like them. That's a whole nother opportunity to say like, well, have you ever asked them what they don't like about you? So there's control there, and there's also the control, do they reach out to a peer? So those are things we control their control where it's productive. And as parents, we want to lead our kids to that. Boring. Hey man, my teacher is so boring, I don't want to go to that class. Well, what can you do? I cannot go. Well, that's not productive though. Is there something that's similar in that topic that you like, that you can find? Have you asked your teacher? Is there another thing that you could study that's similar to that? These are things that they control that are productive. So how do we help them identify obstacles? Because they'll say, well, you know what? That's fine. I'm glad that you are helping me understand that I control things, but there are obstacles in every situation. We face them as adults, and we have to coach our kiddos how to transcend those obstacles. So for instance, here's a quick little 3 steps of how we can do that. So chat about what your child likes about the situation. So even if it's that C test, they obviously cared. They're pissed off that they got a C. So how do we help them kind of see like you really wanted an A, right? Or that class is really boring. Well, you went to that class though, and you originally, and you found that it was boring, but what did you go there originally for? So we have to kind of walk through with them what do they like about the situation. Eventually, in their minds, what keeps them going toward their goal, or what keeps them from going toward their goal, that's the obstacle. So, and that obstacle could be external or internal, but it's the obstacle that they identify. Now it's them that they obviously are aware of now of an obstacle. So in the case of the test and getting a C, perhaps they realize, you know what, whether that teacher likes me or not, I could have done a better job of studying. So identify that obstacle. Lastly, this brings your child back to what they can control, because they identify the obstacle and allows them to make a plan. And at this point now, identifying an obstacle helps you make a plan. You're now in control of yourself. And helping you understand that control helps you understand that you can build up on motivation and build your capacity to learn more and do more. These videos are brought to you by the Behavioral Health and Wellness Department of the Beaverton School District. There, we take in lots of information. I'd like to give credit to Professor Gabriella Absent, I believe is her last name. She's a researcher from NYU that did the research on obstacles and motivation. Please come back more often to find more parent videos. We're always happy to help. If you get stumped or you need support, reach out to the counselor or student success coach or admin of your local school, and we're always ready to help you solve these issues. We know these are tough times. We know that where kiddos are going to need extra support. So A, take care of yourself. And if you have the capacity, take care of someone else. It's been wonderful being with you.